and welcome to part 2 of Make It a Smash. In this video, I'm going to show you how I put together all the pages and completed my Smash book.
Inspired, sketched, jotted, quoted, saved, and random. Let's put them at...
Okay, so what I did after I had stamped all of the tabs, I just adhered them to all of the sheets that I'd cut out and just put them on there. And as you can see, I polished all of my fingernails this time around. But there you go. Just put all the tabs into place and align them up, and they look really nice. Okay, I'm just going to let this run the whole way. I'm not going to make it super fast. I just wanted you to see how I'm making the folders here. What I did was I cut a piece of 12 by 12 paper in half. So you're going to end up with 6 wide by 12 tall. And then measure it to be the same. I'm going to cut off a ½ inch. So it's 5½ wide by 8½ down. And that's where I have the pencil marks. Now, you're only going to cut down to the 8½ mark. You want to keep the bottom on for a tab. If you notice when I'm going across, right here, I'm flipping my X-Acto blade over. I'm not cutting it. This is how I score. I learned that back in when I was making dummies up, when I worked at an ad agency, and it makes a really nice score. So that's how I score paper. You just have to not press really hard. And then I'm just going to add the tape and adhere the left side here, and then the right side will get bound into the Smash book. And you get 2 sides. And here we have all the pieces that I have so far all put together. I've got the covers, my tabs, the folder pages I made, and you can see the side on the right will get adhered in, and it'll hold it together that way. In this part, I grabbed a sketchbook that you can use for painting and watercolors, and I'm going to put it in this section that I have on my tab called Sketches. So I just trimmed down a bunch of paper, 5½ by 8½ to put into my Smash book under the sketch section. That way, if I want to use paint, it's not going to warp the paper. And here I'm just cutting some regular old 8½ by 11 copy paper to put in my book. Now that all of our pages are cut and trimmed, and we've got all of the things that we want to bind into our book, we are ready to assemble our pages.
amount of plain paper. I have a large amount, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8 pieces of sketch paper, random vellum, scrapbook paper, printed paper, graph paper, so let's assemble. What are we doing?
I just wanted to pop this clip in real quick and show you how I made a simple pen holder with a loop of ribbon. Just sew it right on. Now that we have all of our pages trimmed, we assemble it, and I'm just going to run through this really quickly because it took me like 40 minutes, and you don't want to sit here through that. But I put all the pages in that I wanted in each section. So for like my sketch section, I put in the drawing paper, the sketch paper. For saved, I put a lot of envelopes in it because I wanted to, if I didn't want to glue it down, I thought, you know, I'd put some pockets and some of the envelopes in there, and I would just put keepsakes in there because that is my saved section. You know, maybe it's something saved that I'll use later on in a layout. But just assemble it all, and then once you're finished, that's when you will punch your holes and bind it. I borrowed a cinch and I bound mine together. You could just use the binder rings for this and it would be fine. So whatever method you would like to use to bind it, it would certainly work. I hope you enjoyed this and get inspired to make your own Smashbook. It's fun to make, you'll save a ton of money, and it's also very useful. Thanks.